we had received a complaint from a customer that some queries were taking way too long. A coworker grabbed a profile when we saw a memory spike, and then sent it through Discord through pprof.me. I came in on my morning, pulled this up. I was like, okay, cool. We've got this huge memory profile. We're using 30 gigs of memory,
Wow.
which is pretty high for our systems right now.
Mhm.
I'll just go through how I debug this. So like our database, we often see recover taking up most of the data because it's recovered all the data that it's on disk, right? So this is kind of expected to see around 10 gigs here. What we don't normally like to see is our iterator, which is part of our scan layer in our database, taking 40% of our memory here, or 14
Mhm.
gigs. So this was immediately the thing that stuck out to me, is like, this is a lot. So we focused in on this. What exactly are we spending memory on? I've determined, just because I know my system, that I don't care about this stack too much, right? It's not that
Mhm.
interesting to me. I expect this.
Mhm.
But this is the one that I want to focus in on. So all I had to do was click on it, and it
Uh-huh.
zooms in on this for me. So here we're looking at the iterator function, and we see that convert is taking about 35%, and this other iterator function that we could zoom in on, creating new
Mhm.
records, is taking the rest of it. So immediately this huge 12 gig chunk stuck out like a sore thumb. That doesn't seem right.
Mhm.
What is it doing? And so this is one of the interesting things is, so we're using the Parca Go library here. We can see
Mhm.
here github.com, Parca Go.
Yeah.
So this isn't a library that we maintain in-house or that we develop in-house. We're contributors, but this is just software that we use that's off the shelf.
Mhm.
So basically we just go through here and we can see we're spending a lot of time decoding dictionaries, and we can see here that we're spending a lot of time building dictionaries. And so that led me to believe that, okay, we're building our dictionaries and we're probably never releasing the underlying memory when we do a query. So a query is pulling data from everywhere, and instead of building the dictionary for the chunk of data that it needs, it'll do that, and then it'll pull the next chunk of data and just keep adding to the dictionary. So even though maybe the values in the previous dictionary don't matter for this next chunk of data, it kept them around. So its dictionaries kept getting bigger and bigger until eventually we had a 12 gigabyte dictionary. So this led to a change in FrostDB, our underlying database, where we free dictionaries between record creations. And what this ended up doing is this 12 gigabyte query ended up only taking 2 gigabytes when we freed dictionaries in between. So that was a huge change using memory profiles that I made
That's
the other day.
amazing. This almost like gives you superpowers. The one thing which I would like to point out is if you go to that pull request, I noticed how many lines changed.
Yeah.
18.
So
This is an 18 line change.
it's a very small change. Reset the
Wow.
record and then call reset on the dictionaries, all that
How would
memory
you know to
back.
do this if you don't have that visibility?
I would have
Needle in
spent
a haystack.
way more hours on this trying to figure
Yeah.
out without profiling. But this was, I spent maybe 10 minutes looking at this going, it's got to be the dictionaries growing too big.
Yeah.
Why would the dictionaries grow too big? I look at our iterator code. We hold on to them the whole
Yeah.
time.
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Mind blown. I
Yeah.
have a
This is night and day difference between how fast you can debug a problem like this.
If you enjoyed this, there is a podcast that goes with it. Check out pod.gerhard.io. For the full conversation, go to makeitwork.gerhard.io. Until next time.